Hi there, this is Kevin Stewart Builds 250. I'm Kev, and this is issue 10 of Builder Model Spitfire Mk1A by Hachette Partworks. So this issue looks really fiddly. It's very small parts, these kind of connecting pipes it calls them, going to be going into either side of the engine. But once again, yeah, it's going to be a massively good detailed engine this, if we are looking at all these kind of small parts that we're fitting, but it just makes it really fiddly. But hey, let's get into it. Let's get into the build for issue 10. Okay, so I've got the parts laid out for issue 10. Now these are nice. These are exhaust covers, very nice, very detailed, nice metal parts. I've identified them and laid them out as it is in the inventory, and these as well. Now there's two of these. Now they look almost exactly the same, but there is a different ending on these, so I've laid these out once again like it says on the inventory, and a pump. Yeah, I think these are going to be the tricky things to fit, obviously. These just look awesome, so they're going to really set off the engine very nicely. So quick look at the magazine, please. Okay, so yeah, just a quick look. Yeah, lots of detailed instructions on this one. Very detailed. I think 16 individual instructions on it. Yeah, 16 individual instructions on this. So it's quite an in-depth kind of issue to get into. So yeah, it's nice to have these issues where you've got quite a bit to do. Some more. This is quite interesting actually. I do read these, and there's some quite interesting stuff on kind of the Battle of Britain and obviously the history of World War II. And then what we've got coming up in issue 11. Okay, so bringing the pump over, part 1009 I think it calls it, and it's identifying two kind of pegs. So it's identifying two pegs on this, and you've got a shaped peg, so kind of a D-shaped peg, which is that side with the spurs on it, and you've got a rounded peg, just a normal kind of round peg. Now the D-shaped peg is going to go into the corresponding D-shaped hole in the engine block, or on the supercharger that is, I think. Okay, so we're just going to be fitting that into there with a little super glue. So I'm just going to kind of test fit this in. So I'll just say, yeah, that D-shaped hole, I'm just going to test fit that into the engine itself or into the supercharger, make sure it fits nicely before I apply any super glue. Yeah. Let's have a super glue. That's now fitted. Pump. Then asking you to turn the engine over so you can get to the right hand side. Some of this is really detailed, so I'm going to try and get this onto camera as best I can. But yeah, onto the right hand side, and along this pipe part there's a little hole just in there. Very difficult to see, but just along this pipe part there's a little hole in there. As I say, quite difficult to see, but this is just going to fit into that hole. I don't know if you can see the hole, but it's just going to fit into it like that. You can see how it kind of fits in anyway. So just going to be a little dab of super glue on that pipe part. So that's now into that pipe. So that pipe goes into there, and then there's a hole just in this pipe that runs along the right hand side of the engine. Just goes into there with a little application of super glue. Then it says you've got to turn it over to the left hand side, and you've got to do the same, but this one's got to go underneath this pipe here. So you've got a protrusion here, and this one's got to go underneath that, but into kind of the same hole in the pipe that runs along the side of the engine. Your right hand one did. It's just going to go into there. But this one needs to, as it says, run underneath this hole, this other pipe. Okay, so as you see, that one comes around there, underneath this intrusion and into the pipe that runs along the side of the engine, just into a little hole underneath this pipe. Okay, so the next part it's asking me to do is get part 1007, which is these connecting pipes. Now I'm after the one with the peg. Yeah, I'm after the one with the peg on the end, as it calls it. So you've got one, got a socket, and then you've got one that's got a peg. Now you want the one that's got the peg on the end. Okay. Now that is going to fit into that little pipe that we fitted on the last issue to the supercharger. So there's a hole in the pipe that we fitted to the supercharger. That's going to fit into there, and then it's going to run along these two brackets. You're going to fit it into there. It's going to kind of hang down like that. And so it goes into that hole there. Then them two are going to fit into that bracket that's on that pipe, and then you're going to feed those into these holes. It's a little bit tricky. I'm going to try and do it on camera, but I may have to not do it on camera. The first thing I'm going to do is get this with a little bit of super glue, because I've already tried this, I've already kind of preempted it. So you kind of have it pointing downwards, pipe into there, and them into there, into those two brackets, and then you're going to feed those over into the holes. Okay, all connecting pipes, as it's called, on the right hand side fitted. Quite fiddly. Okay, and now doing the same for the left hand side, but obviously this pipe's got the, and that one's going to go into that there. It's going to fit onto there, so I'm just going to do a test fit onto there, just to make sure it fits, and then we'll be, and then obviously that's going to sit on those, and then we're going to do the same. So I'll just have a quick test fit, see if it works, and then we'll get into it. Some nice detailed parts there. These connecting pipes do look pretty good. Okay, now it's telling us to take the time to identify these exhausts. I did it earlier, now I've mixed them all up. Okay, so I'm going to have them how they've gone. So L1, R1. I don't have any markings actually on the actual exhausts themselves. L2, R2, L3, R3. Okay. So I've set them out as they are set out in the magazine. So I know which one's which. So I've got the left hand side of the engine to start with, which is what it's telling me to do. And I've got L3, and I'm just going to fit that into the holes and make sure that it fits correctly. Do a test fit as such. and then we can super glue that in. So actually going to kind of test fit them all first, make sure they all fit before you even super glue. So I'm going to put that one in, L3. L2 that I've identified as L2, and L1. Yeah, it all looks nice, fits nicely. Once you're happy, then you can kind of fit, and then you can super glue them in. Okay, so that's the left hand side done, and the right hand side, so I'm just going to do the same again. Completed, and that's the engine looking quite impressive now with those exhausts fitted, and obviously the connecting pipes underneath. Yeah, looking very, very impressive now, very detailed, very nice. So issue 10 done there of the Spitfire. Gotta be honest, it wasn't as tricky as I thought it was going to be. Those parts actually went in okay, those connecting pipes. Once you identified which side and got them onto those brackets, yeah, good pair of tweezers helped, obviously. And it's looking stunning. That engine is looking awesome, and it's actually got quite a bit of weight to it as well. The exhausts, obviously, they were all metal parts. So quite a bit of that engine is actually metal, so it kind of helps to justify the cost. You know, you get a lot of negative comments about how much of a rip-off it is, but this is actually a really detailed engine and looking impressive. So I'm happy with it so far. Following on from my last video where I was talking about how disappointed I was that I wasn't going to get the free subscribers gifts because I didn't subscribe in time. They're only available to people who subscribed starting their subscriptions either in 1, 2, 3 or issues 1, 2, 3 or 4. I did kind of say that I didn't know if I was going to be carrying on with this. Now, looking at it now, looks like it's going to be a good model. So what I might do is I might go back to buying them from the newsagents. I picked up issue 11 from the newsagents the other day, and all I've emailed Hachette and I've kind of asked them if you pick it from the newsagents, do you get that dynamic kind of display stand, the one where in the advert where you see it banking and tilting? So I've asked them if we get those, if we get it from the newsagents. I haven't had a reply back as of yet, but yeah, if I do, or if there's a way that I can purchase that dynamic display stand, then I'll probably carry on with the collection and just get the issues from the newsagent. It was never kind of an issue that I really wanted the mug or anything like that. It was just, there was no real point in subscribing if I wasn't getting the subscribers gifts. So I might as well just carry on doing what I was doing at the start, just getting them from the newsagents. So as I said, I've got issue 11. I picked that up the other day, so I'll be constructing that and putting that on probably in the next week. And I'm really looking forward to it because it looks like we are adding more details on it, and it is a crackingly detailed model. But hey, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you like the progression of any of these models at the moment, as I say, the Ecto one's definitely going ahead. There's a delay on the Ferrari that isn't getting any parts until probably August time, and I'll be picking these up from the newsagents, so I'll be doing them in the normal weekly stages. So if you'd like to see the progression of any of those, then please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to click the bell if you'd like to be notified anytime that a video goes live. But hey, stay safe. Hope to catch you again on the channel soon, and ta-da for now.